Hasan, you know that's KKona?
Oh hell yeah! That's dope, man. We love your face.
Thanks, man.
Nice to meet you.
That's what I get. I love your face.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Somebody does.
That's crazy. You do not seem KKona at all. As a matter of fact, you're so not KKona that I wouldn't have even expected it for when you said that.
It's kind of funny to me that people like the whole hillbilly thing. I'm like, yeah.
And you're not with the hat.
Chicago, man.
With the hat too, like that's a driver hat. So I always was
I had it
like,
on last night at the party.
I always look at that. I'm like, that's not even like a KKona hat.
Well, you know, I do know how it started. A lot of the guys from like this Sweden area during the CS:GO tournaments would start using it because it was the most American at the time, the most American face they could find to make fun of the American players. So they'd spam the chat.
The way it's clipped, like the way it's framed, I think, is perfect because it does embody KKona.
That's a picture of me from Comic-Con 2008 with standing around a couple of TV stars. They just split my face off.
The way it's cropped and the way it makes me feel is so perfect.
Right.
But it doesn't fit.
I'm glad I make you feel funny.
Yeah, no, it's just yeah, your face specifically. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I don't know. It's just the way it's cropped.
It was actually just used as a test emote for Twitch and Nightbot back.
Like I have a KKona version of my emotes.
I think
like,
most
that's
people
how,
have some kind of KKona version. There's so many. I think it actually is the one emote that has the most versions of it right now.
Oh, really?
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mine isn't like I'm not doing a face. I'm just wearing like a MAGA hat, like a MAGA looking hat, basically. But
that's so funny.
House KKona. Wait, if you're not KKona, what are your politics like?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you? Are you Democrat, Republican? Do you mind?
I don't talk about my politics.
Okay, never mind.
Let's just put it this way: I live in Texas. Take from that what you want.
Well, Texas is about to turn blue, so.
No, it ain't.
Okay, well now I know what your politics are. So they are kind of KKona. Never mind.
I like my guns. I like my 4-wheel drives. I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, I don't get into politics with people. I'm not going to change your mind. You're going to change my mind. I'd rather just be your friend.
This is what I do. I'm a political streamer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I do politics.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
I Twitch or?
On Twitch and on YouTube and everywhere. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Anyway,
sounds good meeting you.
Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens in Texas. Remember, chat.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here, but Texas is looking pretty purple. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't think so.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We like our guns too much down there.
If Bernie wins in the Democratic candidacy, I think Texas could turn blue.
And we'll all be broke because of it.
I don't know. Broke, but with good health care, I guess.
Well, you'll get good health care. I'll be broke.
What do you middle
upper class, be paying for everybody have free stuff.
I mean, I'm middle upper class
Which
too.
means you'll be paying for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think we should. We should pay for a lot of stuff.
We're already paying, but I shouldn't have to pay for somebody that's not working. That's the point.
Well,
I've been working my rear end off without a handout at all to get where I'm at, so why should I pay for somebody else? Think about that.
But I mean, that's kind of how it works. That's kind of how government works.
That's not how it works.
Are you really telling me that these other countries in Europe, these European nations that are comparable to the United States, are somehow better?
Give me one.
OECD comparabilities, like as in Norway, Sweden.
You cannot compare Norway.
Healthcare is a scalable program.
Healthcare is a scalable program. Go live over there for a little while, and I guarantee you will be protesting the healthcare you're getting. Just like Canada's free program. You cannot get into a doctor the same day if you are sick.
That's not true either.
It's 100% true because I lived in Canada.
Okay, but if you have it's not like you don't wait in emergency rooms though. Like when you have an emergency,
you're not there for a week waiting for a doctor.
I know. In America, they ration healthcare too. Canada's the only country that you can actually compare to the United States where they do have certain issues. But outside of that, every other European nation has infinitely better healthcare, and even Canada has better healthcare outcomes overall.
One thing that I'll tell somebody that's going to say I'm voting for Bernie is take a vacation to a socialist country. Take a vacation.
Like Norway?
No, because he's not pitching Norway.
Yes, he is.
No, he's pitching every socialist country.
So,
when you listen to him, it's not
so
just
Norway is not even socialist; it's social democracy.
It's not, and it's actually capitalist. Believe it or not. When you
no,
go there,
I do believe it. Would you
he's
like?
Not pitching that. He's pitching
socialism. But Norway also.
I'm not, all right, we're done. I'm not talking to government with you.
I'm just. But you agree on Norway? Can we agree on Norway? Norway's capitalism is great. Can we do Norway capitalism?
But he's not pitching that.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm just.
I think Norway's capitalism is great. Will it work in the U.S.? Never, because we have open borders. Norway does not have open borders.
What?
You cannot move there and be a citizen.
they definitely have open borders,
Open
though.
borders, but you cannot move there and be a citizen.
Well, you just said they don't have open borders.
Just like you cannot move there and be a citizen, just like you cannot move to Canada and be a citizen. You have to have a job lined up and have your own money before you can become a citizen in Canada. You can't just move there as a U.S. citizen.
Canada took in pound for pound more asylum seekers and more refugees than the United States.
Canadian, and they are not Canadian.
Okay, but I'm just saying that they are clearly taking people in.
They're taking people in, but they are not giving them the stuff they give to the Canadian public.
So are you saying that asylum seekers are not allowed to take advantage of their robust social safety nets? Because that's entirely untrue.
They're not getting medical care that a Canadian citizen would get.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Wait, what?
Go up there.
Are you telling me that? I mean, it's untrue. What you're saying is not true. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to take you away from
that. What I'm saying to you is, you are the majority of the people in the U.S. that keep talking about this have never been to any of those countries. Have never actually lived in any of those countries.
What would you do if I were to tell you? Well, I grew up in Turkey, a country that is infinitely poorer than the United States of America.
How long ago was that?
10 years ago is when I moved to the States.
Okay.
I'm 28 now. I was 18. I grew up in Turkey from 0 to 18. And we not only have socialized medicine, but we have public hospitals. We have free college education. It all works. But yeah, Turkey's a much poorer country than the United States of America. It's a very populated country. It's also very diverse.
How many immigrants are moving to Turkey right now?
Turkey took in 4 million Syrian refugees.
Syrian refugees. I'm asking how many immigrants are moving into there as a choice. Well, not because they're being pushed there because of some.
I know, but I just told you a country that's 90 million.
And do you think every single person there is getting those 4 million people going in there?
You can't deny when you have social safety nets.
They're not.
I mean, I'm Turkish.
You're Turkish, but I'm telling you, that didn't happen 10 years ago. That's happened over the past couple of years.
Yeah, but my family still lives there, and I still go back.
Are your family the refugees that came over?
Wait, you're changing the goalposts. I'm giving you.
Is your family the refugees that came over? That's what I'm asking you.
My family is the refugees that came over to Turkey.
Are your families refugees? Or are they from Turkey?
No, they're from Turkey.
Okay. You cannot tell me what the refugees are getting just because your family is there. That's what I'm telling you.
Wait, what do you mean?
My blindfold on everyone. They think, just because I know they're coming here, they're not getting this thing. You have no idea because you're not those people.
Wait, are you saying that you can never know you can never have information over a situation? If you're not directly a refugee, I do know.
But what I'm saying is,
my parents are literally in politics.
Okay.
So they have firsthand knowledge. My father has firsthand knowledge of the situation.
You just keep throwing out the same bullshit. I'm sorry that Bernie throws out. Again, who's paying for it? Let me ask you that question. Who pays for this?
Specifically for the refugee programs in Turkey, we got a lot of funding. Actually, not that significant, but we got some funding from Europe. And by the way, I won't bullshit you. It's not an easy system. It was very controversial at the time, and it's still incredibly controversial.
It's not all coming from some other country. Who's paying for it?
We are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't have a problem with that. You apparently do.
I totally have a problem with that because
you can't.
But hold on, but just general math.
It's 80 million people, but we took 4 million refugees
into the system. So there's like,
but why?
No, there's actually not because they all want free everything.
Well,
so they're not paying.
My wife works in healthcare.
And I do.
You wouldn't believe how many people come here for the country and just get free healthcare and then leave, so they don't have to pay the bill. It happens at every major hospital in the U.S. So we are paying for free healthcare for the majority of the immigrants that come
What you're talking about is emergency room care, and it makes up. That's the only way.
Delivering babies. That's not emergency. They come here to have their baby.
Okay, but it is literally. You can't just walk in and be like, all right, I'm gonna get you're pregnant and you're like, I'm trying to have a baby as quickly as possible. It's still
you can come here.
Okay, the overwhelming. When you look at the numbers, and this is something that I have studied. This is something that I know. Emergency room care, it only makes up 0.09% of overall healthcare expenditure. So when you look at actual studies conducted by the Cato Institute, the right-wing think tank, libertarian, but when you look at actual numbers, you realize that immigrants, pound for pound, undocumented citizens, spend infinitely less on healthcare in the United States than anyone else, than natural-born citizens. The reason why, or they're less costly, and the reason why is because they're denied access. They can't go and get primary care physicians.
But my question for you is,
Because we can't
are
turn
they
They're paying into the system too.
are they illegal aliens or are they U.S. citizens? That's my question.
Well, they are. They are undocumented, and I wish they were documented. I wish there was at least some paperwork so they could pay
All
more.
they have to do is do the paperwork. It's not that hard. I have plenty of friends from other countries that have become U.S. citizens by just filling out paperwork. They don't have to do anything else but go and do that.
It's a little difficult when you're from Mexico and very poor. There's a massive wait.
Okay. That still doesn't. My grandparents were off the boat. I'm a third. Walked in, came on a boat, filled out paperwork, became U.S. citizens.
Do you think that immigration is similar to that now?
100%. It's the same process.
I know for a fact that that's not
It's
true,
the same
man.
process, man. The process
It's
is
literally
changed.
not.
I have two friends that just became U.S. citizens. It's the same exact process.
Where are they from?
One was from Ireland, and one was actually from Mexico.
Okay.
I live in
How-
Texas.
how
You know
much
how
money-
many of them are U.S. citizens from Mexico?
Oh, plenty.
My neighbor is a U.S.
Yeah,
citizen.
plenty of
from
people.
Mexico.
And naturalization still occurs. Don't get me wrong.
So
I'm not
why
saying
are
that
you telling me
naturalization
that
is
they can't do it then.
because for the overwhelming majority of poor Mexican people that want to come to the United
My
States.
neighbor was a poor Mexican.
Okay, well, you're giving me anecdotal information. I'm giving you empirical data.
No,
There's
you're
a
just
difference.
telling me that just because one guy can't do it, nobody else can do it. No,
No.
everybody can do.
Do you
the
know what
same
an
thing.
anecdote is?
I'm just telling you, anybody.
Do you know what an anecdote is?
Yes,
Because
I
it is
do.
okay. So what you are giving me is personal experience, which is great, and that's a lovely thing that happened to your friend, and I'm happy that he was able to. I'm happy that the system works for some people.
It works for everyone if they just do it. None of them are doing it. So you're telling me that.
Do you think people aren't doing it because?
You telling me that everyone that comes over the border is trying to do this? They're
Why
just not
is
coming
there?
over.
Why is there an insane amount of backlogs for asylum seekers that are trying to come into the United States
Because
right
they're
now?
all trying to come in, so there's going to be a backlog. There's that many people.
But you're
We're one
okay.
of the,
But
we're
if
the
that's
only
the case,
country
then
that offers what we offer.
okay, that's not true. It's what you're
Then
stating.
why is everybody trying to get here and not to Turkey?
Because their
or
situation,
Switzerland?
is actually much worse than the United States. If their situation back home was better off, because their proximity is to the United States.
Okay.
When I'm giving you an actual example of a country like Turkey that has a massive border, that shares a massive border with a country like Syria, where we have brought in 4 million refugees and more counting as well. As long as there's displacement, they're going to have to go somewhere. These are human beings.
Come back
I feel
to me,
like
come
we're
back
all
to
on
me
the
in
same.
5 years in the same spot. Let's talk about Turkey's economy.
Okay.
Seriously.
I mean, sure. I think that everyone's economy is suffering right now, but that's a problem of
because-
redistribution, a
Just
lack of
because-
redistribution
just because
back in the
someone
middle
makes a
class.
decision and says, I'm opening my borders because it's the right thing to do, doesn't make it the right thing to do for the actual people who live in that country.
Well, every single economist and
our borders
conservative,
are open. There's just ways to do it.
conservative, liberal, leftist, every
The funny
economist
thing is
agrees that
the-
open borders
the-
are good for both the host nation and
for the
also the
record,
nation that people
The
travel to.
Democrats are the ones that started the majority of how we handle our borders. It was not.
Yeah, I don't agree with the Democratic Party either.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's
I
not a
disagree.
Republican and Democrat thing here. It's
I disagree. I can
And I don't
disagree with my own
disagree that
party.
people should come to the U.S. I'm all for people coming here. I'm all for it. But do it the right way.
Let me answer this. If the right way was expanded on and people could do it easily.
Legally?
Yeah, legally but easily.
Sure, I'd be all for it.
Okay, perfect. Then we don't have a disagreement.
You're done.
I'm okay with that.
Then we don't have a disagreement.
I'm okay with that.
All right, perfect. I don't.
Oh, we're not heated. Oh, it's not heated.
No, I don't.
He's not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change his mind.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
This is called Facebook politics.
Rather, it is democracy. This is democracy in action.
Oh, shut up, Raj.
Agreeing.
Well, I mean, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
It's like we should be able to have a conversation. I don't disagree with what he's saying. I hope he doesn't disagree with what I'm saying.
Anyway, thank you.
Again,
That
I'm
was-
okay with people coming in. It doesn't. I'm not saying nobody come in. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is,
I love that. Yeah, I love that.
No, I'm glad that we agree. Look, see, this was a misunderstanding. That you also do agree that as long as it was an easy process like the one you described for your neighbor, then
the
I don't
one
have
caveat I
an
will say
issue
to
with
that
that.
easy process. But I also feel that the majority of the nation who has been here paying taxes doing things should not be paying for free stuff for people that aren't working.
Okay, that's a separate issue.
That's a separate issue, but it's a truthful issue, right?
I don't agree because I think that
I went to
do I think that our government
because I went to
currently
college, paid $125,000 for my education.
Yeah.
So,
Back then, should I get reimbursed for that? Because now they're paying for everybody else's college that's coming in who says they want free education. Let me ask you the question. Just simple
do you want
question.
me to give you an answer?
Just give me a yes or no. Should I?
I wish you didn't have to pay for it at all,
We're gonna get either,
but I paid. I paid a tremendous amount of money for college as well, and I had a lot of student loans, and I was fortunate to be able to pay off.
Somebody else's loans? I see you there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Because I don't want to knock back the ladder that I struggled to climb up. I think that it's not only the moral thing to do to help our fellow citizens, but it's also better for the economy overall. The current student loan crisis is a bubble that is about to burst, similar to the 2008 housing market.
Let's agree on this. Then it shouldn't be me paying for somebody's thing. It should be the schools dealing with it, and they should be offering free education versus me as a taxpayer me paying.
How do you think a school would be able to offer free education?
How does Germany do it? So,
wait, what do you mean? How do you think Germany does it?
That's what I'm asking. How does Germany do it?
Germany subsidizes their public education through taxes.
Oh, my exactly.
Wait,
and that is not good for their economy. Have you been to Germany lately?
Wait, you think Germany's economy? Yes, of course.
Have you seen the middle to lower class in Germany?
Yeah, they're not in good. They're not in a.
Horrible.
First of all, it's not horrible. They're still doing much better. They still have social safety nets. They're still in a much better situation than the American middle class is.
But it's also a much smaller middle class. Again, it's apples to oranges.
Wait, what do you mean it's a much smaller?
Numbers of people.
But you just said that. But these are scalable economies.
They're not scalable economies.
Of course it is, because
if we move
the more money that you generate.
If we moved everyone from the U.S. the way they sit now in their socioeconomic status, move them to Germany the way they are now, Germany would be able to support all of that.
Most likely, yeah.
I doubt it.
Wait, why do you? I mean, it's a hypothetical where there's like a drastic transformation.
This is what I'm trying to say.
It's not even comparable.
I don't disagree with you, but what I disagree with is the numbers. You cannot tell me Turkey this when Turkey's numbers do not match anywhere near with the U.S.
I mean, Turkey's a pretty big country, and it's
but it's nowhere near.
And it's a lot poorer than the United States, which is why I'm saying that a poorer country can be able to do it.
Like, as many people are trying to get into the U.S. but the size of the U.S.
Okay,
right?
I look. Do I think that immigration is a problem in the way that it currently is? No,
it always has been.
No, I don't think it's a problem in the way that it has. The way that it is a problem exclusively because immigrants don't have the same rights. Therefore, they are a constantly repopulating pool of labor that business owners, both Democratic and Republican, can take care of. They take advantage of, rather. And that depresses the wages. And that depresses the wages for the American working class that are also made up of immigrants as well, overall, just like your parents were immigrants, right? So the way to deal with that, isn't by saying we're going to make it harder for people to come in, because it's almost impossible to actually do that unless you subjugate them to a tremendous amount of cruelty, which I don't think you want. Right?
But I don't think that we are, to be honest.
You don't think separating children from their parents is an incredible amount of cruelty?
For the record, they separate children from their parents when the parents have a record or they're not supposed to be with their parents.
No, that's not
I've been to an ICE detention center. My neighbor actually works for them.
Wait, that's not true at all, though.
The news is only showing you what you think you guys
But I'm not.
That's
but not only do I...
Have you been to an ICE detention center?
Not only do I cover the news...
To an ICE detention center?
But I work with immigrant activists every day. I literally work with these
immigrants that have come over the border with no problem and have been in those detention centers and their kids are with them.
Okay.
Again, I live in Texas, I know we get the majority of it.
I live in California.
We get a whole lot more in Texas. Our border's much bigger.
I understand, but I think we get a lot of undocumented
you get it too. But what I'm saying is we are both commenting on stuff that we don't actually have first view.
You can't have first-hand view of an entire situation unless you literally
You're right. That's why we're not going to agree on the situation.
No, because there's only one way to do it. There is a way that you can get a better comprehensive understanding of the situation.
Can I ask you, do you have an answer?
I do. What is it? I was going to give it to you before. Yeah. What we need to do, there's only two ways out of this, okay? Because immigration is going to be a problem in the near future, most likely.
It's been a problem since prior to Obama.
It's going to be an actual problem when you have more than the number of immigrants that are coming in right now because of climate change and because of agricultural production being destroyed in countries like Guatemala. Part of the reason why we have caravans to begin with is literally because they have no means of making money for themselves, making a life for themselves, and then there's a tremendous amount of violence. A lot of it we caused by destabilizing these countries with our foreign policy, which I'm sure you don't disagree with me on. I don't think you want to interfere. You don't want to interfere in other countries' politics, right?
To a point, some of these countries have brought some of this stuff on themselves, but to a point.
I mean, centuries of colonization
I won't say that we haven't been there, but yeah.
No, I mean, indigenous people living on land.
Dude,
that
I can
gets
say this,
colonized.
that everybody in England should be bitching about the U.S. because we did the same thing to people how many years ago? I mean, come on.
I mean, wait, what do you mean England should be
Indians,
bitching?
like the original Indians there, it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah, I bitch about that too. That's
but
genocide.
there's no. I'm not going to get into that conversation.
I mean, look at the Native American tribes. The reason why they're in a
Can I
state of
interrupt you
disarray.
guys' thing here? And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
a
we can do
huge
it.
fan of water.
Okay.